Okay, let's go live. Good afternoon and welcome to the Entrepreneurs Live Show. I'm David Dorfling, your host, and this afternoon we are extremely blessed and honored to have the one and only Dan Warburton with us all the way from Spain. Not South Africa, guys, all the way from Spain. Now you can be jealous. I've got him. Dan, welcome to the show, my friend.
It's so great to be here. Thank you so much. I've seen what you do, and I've seen your magazine, and it's what you're doing is really great. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's exciting, it's really a true and blessed honor to be with you today. Like I said to you just now, we had a power failure on the South Coast on Monday. I also stay next to the sea like you, but not as beautiful as you. So we had a power failure and I couldn't get Dan onto the show. Dan was so kind to open his diary, and believe me, guys, I've checked this guy's diary to try and find a spot to get him. It's worse than trying to find a needle in a haystack to get this guy. So Dan, absolutely thank you for what you're doing for me, for the show, and for this interview.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Let me get my book out. This is going to be cool. I'm so excited. Dan, first question. Who is Dan Warburton? And obviously we know where you're from, but tell us where you're from, because we know it's Spain, but I heard the other day when you were talking to the people, there's a specific name for it. And it's sad I can't see that beautiful view. Oh man, I love that view that you've got there.
I mean, I can go outside to show the view. Shall I do that?
Let's do that. That will be something different. Thanks, Dan.
Let me unplug.
That is so kind of you to do that for me.
Back in here,
ladies and gentlemen, while Dan is going out, let me just tell you this. You are going to be amazed. I live next to the ocean. I see the sea, but I'm jealous. Just watch this now. I'm most likely going to fall off my chair here. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at that. Come on. This
is my office. Usually I work out here. It's just a little bit windy, so it kind of picks up on the microphone. But this is where I make my calls. This is where I close my deals. This is where I make my partnerships. And then, if I want, I could just run down to our own little beach there and go for a swim.
No. You're not allowed to do that. Please don't do that.
No, laptops don't work underwater, do they?
No, they don't. But Dan, thanks for that, my friend. That is amazing. Wow. It's truly a beautiful, beautiful view that you've got there. And just for interest's sake, what is the time now there in Spain at the moment?
It's now 5 p.m.
Oh, so we only got a 1 hour difference.
That's right, yeah. Because time zones are long strips that run all the way down the world. And I'm on this, virtually the same strip, just higher up.
My word. I just show you, we know where it is, but you always think it is far apart. But we're literally at the bottom of the earth and you're on top of the world. So you can go like the guys in a movie and go I'm on top of the world.
I'm nearly on top of the world.
Awesome, Dan. That's absolutely awesome. Now, Dan, would you mind sharing with our listeners, what do you do? Because I know it's spectacular. I don't want to spoil it. I want you to tell the people, what do you do?
I'm a transformational coach, and I specialize in enabling entrepreneurs to pursue a deeply rewarding purpose and realize their greatest visions.
Damn, that's powerful. I love it. I love transformational coaches. And, you do something that I can't do. For me to transform people, I really invite them to on top of a mountain. And I say to them, look down there, kick them off it. So they'll transform, but well done. No, in all seriousness, huge respect, because I do believe you guys have to have a lot of patience when you speak to people, and also the knowledge.
That's it. The thing is, you see, with real coaching, a real coach doesn't depend on knowledge. And what happens is, when a coach is being effective, they disappear in the conversation. Because if a coach is trying to get validity or trying to get noticed or trying to, get a bit of an ego trip or get a high or prove themselves to be right in a conversation, then what happens is they're not disappearing in the conversation. And then the coach can be triggered by whoever they're coaching. And the minute the coach is triggered or annoyed or has an opinion about them, that's it.
Yes.
They've lost a space. They are not able to give that sacred space of listening to allow somebody to go through a transformation, to go through an insight or gain an insight.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
And to get to that as a coach, to properly coach, it takes years to do loads of self-development and transformational work on yourself to be able to disappear like that in conversation.
My word, Dan. May I ask this question? I know this is not something I was planning to ask, but how many years of experience do you have in this specific field?
I've been in self-development now for 25 years. And
Wow.
I've completed over 200 courses in self-development.
Wow.
Yeah, some of them lasted as long as 2 years. And like they were all around leadership. And I had 12 coaches at one point, each making demands for a different area of my life. And then I had to coach 5 participants in the first year of the program whilst I'm in the second year. And I had to coach each one to go and create a project that was going to impact humanity in a great way, that was measurable. You could prove it, you could see it. And whilst I was leading all of them to create those projects, I then had my own project. Plus I had my own businesses and my own life. And like we were being pushed to absolute breaking point every day. And the reason for that was because if ever we got angry or we snapped, we said, "Oh, enough, I can't do it," then our coach would say, "What's going on with you there? Where does that come from?" And then we would do the work.
I get it.
And so that's the training that I've had years of.
Oh my word, Dan, that's awesome. You know, what fascinates me is I love studying, just by the way. I'm in the marketing and graphic design field. So I'm constantly doing short courses to keep on improving my skill set that I've got, because even myself, you know, I thought, you know, become a graphic designer. Well, I'm a multimedia engineer, actually. Become what you want to become, and you finish learning. The hard reality for me was I couldn't stop learning, because the fields change, the things change, and you constantly have to develop yourself. And it's amazing. Wow, I'm far from 200 courses, and obviously your class of courses, but my friend, the amazing part is just how you're studying and studying and studying. And that's the awesome part. Dan, I want to get into this question, but before I'm going to ask this question, I want to open the lines so that the people can send you messages and we can start to communicate with the people listening and work with them, if you don't mind, if that's fine with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking on my Facebook. You tagged my professional page or my personal page in on this?
Let me quickly have a look for you, my friend.
It's my personal page, isn't it?
I think actually so.
So what I need to do is I need to allow this to stream on my page, because at the moment it's not streaming.
Okay, what I'll do for you, Dan, is while we're live, and people, this is the cool part. This just shows you the awesomeness of technology. Let me get my link quickly. If you don't mind, then...
Yeah, go for it. I've just got here. I haven't got any tags that I need to review.
Yeah, I see Facebook's a little bit slow tonight. Facebook, I know you are listening to us. If you hear us, please wake up. I always joke about them. No, even though it's there, it's not put it out yet. So let's give it a couple of minutes. It will come out, my friend, and we'll put it out. So yeah, I do apologize for that.
That's all right.
Let's have a looky. Yeah. I'm just trying to get your link. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, our line is 076-058-4796. You can SMS or WhatsApp us, and we will give Dan the questions. Please do me a favor. Do not send a postage stuff. It will not come in time. So we will definitely answer WhatsApp and SMSs for you. Dan, while we're waiting for questions to come in, I want to ask you this question. Seeing that you're a transformational coach and that you are specializing in working with people and getting them with the purpose, this must be a question that you get a lot, but finding your purpose in life, especially for entrepreneurs, do you see it as important? Do you see it as something that's essential? Because I know people listening tonight is mostly entrepreneurs and also young businessmen and ladies coming into it. Would you mind going into that direction for us?
Yeah, sure. So let's look at what having a purpose is, a life purpose.
Yes.
So you've got two parts to it. You've got the purpose and the vision, or the purpose and the dreams. The dreams and the vision is where we're going, what we want to create for ourselves in our lives. The purpose is the vehicle to get us there. Now, can we still get to realize that those dreams, those ambitions without purpose? Yeah, we can. But usually, if we try doing things without a purpose, we're forcing ourselves to do something we don't enjoy. It's like chasing the money, chasing the sale, chasing the dream. And then what happens is our journey becomes a hollow journey where it's very egotistical driven. It's about self-gain and all those things. And what happens is the journey just isn't fulfilling. We don't enjoy it. But if we have purpose, then we practice something that brings us joy, that we look forward to practicing and doing every day. And we're almost not so worried about the end result because we enjoy doing it so much. But the magic comes when you have a clear vision that you want to create, like some way that you want to impact humanity, not just the dream house, the car, but also how you're going to impact other people's lives and what difference are you going to make to those lives? What awards are you going to win for the impact that you've created, that you've caused, and have that as a vision. And then the purpose to get you there is that enjoyable thing that you enjoy to do every day. And of course, it needs to be sustainable and it needs to actually move you towards creating that vision. Because let's just say that my purpose was to play music and to lift people's spirits. Then I can, go down to a shopping center, get out a ukulele, start strumming, start singing, and lift people's spirits and hearts. But how many people can I really touch with that? Not that many, only a few on the day. But what if I had a vision of becoming, a world recognized ukulele player, and to fill up large events and to stream large, events for some figure, for some amount, and to raise real money for doing that? I can then not only create the life that I love, but then I've got the capital and the money to then impact the lives of so many more people, and I'm enjoying the journey.
I agree with you, Dan.
That's the magic of when you have purpose and a vision that you're moving towards realizing, and you bring the two together.
That is quite cool. Dan, just before we quickly go on, just to let you know, the Facebook has decided to listen to us, and you would have been tagged just now in Facebook. You see, ladies and gentlemen, what I always say, Facebook is listening, and that's the truth. They are listening to us. So it's awesome, my friend.
See here.
While you're looking for yours, I just want to say this is something that's cool because, a lot of people don't understand that living without a purpose is not living. They say they like free spirits and they just go with the flow. That doesn't work. You have to have direction. You have to have purpose. And as soon as Dan is ready for us, I'm going to ask him a question. It's like a serious
I've got here, it says Entrepreneur's Life magazine and Entrepreneur's Life show mentioned. Oh, I see. I've been mentioned in a comment, but I can't see that I'm...
And there's also one that would have been from me personally that I tagged you into. But I do see that Facebook is a little bit slow, so just bear with us. Like those good TV ads that said, just bear with us for this technical difficulty. So,
go for it. What's the next question?
Okay, my friend. Sorry if I'm reading it, but I do forget questions, so I have to just read this for you. Having a purpose means, what does it mean for you, having a purpose against not having a purpose?
Well, it's, as you said, like not having a purpose is where you become totally, either you become totally future focused and you want things and you think that having those things is going to make you happy, having that house, having that car, having all those online followers. And then it makes you a slave to achieving that. And you get this experience that unless you have those things, unless you have that money, unless you have that recognition, you're miserable, you're unhappy. And so it means that you actually spend the rest of your life miserable and unhappy because you're always chasing something that's elusive, that's in the future, instead of being present and enjoying the flow of the moment. And that's where a real quality existence comes from, because we're in flow. Each day we wake up to do something that totally ignites our soul, makes us feel good to be alive, but that also moves us in a forwards direction. That's the difference between not having purpose and having purpose.
Wow, shucks, that's like really deep, my friend. That's extreme. You know, I'm just thinking now, especially like I'm not sure how COVID has affected you guys in Spain, but here in South Africa, it's becoming a problem. First of all, our whole schooling system was messed up. So a lot of the, how would I say it? In South Africa, we call them matriculants. That's your high school graduates. And those children are supposed to go out of school now, entering the adult world, where they will either study in a college, a university, or even start to work. And now at this stage, with the uncertainty, most of them will be losing their purpose, or not their purpose, the goal that they've set for themselves. Now, what I would like to ask in that sense is then, how do you see that? How can I find a purpose in a situation like what's currently happening? Would you recommend, in a case like this where they're uncertain, they need to contact somebody like yourself where they can speak to you and you can help them to determine a new purpose, if I can say so, or re-look at the purpose, even what they currently have? What would you suggest to the people? Because I do know we've got a lot of young people listening in, especially on the radio, live here on MSC Radio, and they are uncertain.
Yeah, I can understand that, and I really feel it. This being in a world where, you had a future and that future now seems to be taken away, and there's no hope and there's no way forwards, and the world is falling apart, and there's all that uncertainty. But the truth is that we're always in uncertainty. We can never, we're always going to plan, and then life happens. You could plan a beautiful picnic. You don't know if it's going to rain that day or not. And that's being an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is somebody who dares, in the face of no hope, in the face of all challenges, they dare to visualize how they want their life to be. How many hours do you want to work? How much money do you want to be earning? How do you want to be working with people? What industry do you want to become a specialist of? What do you want to be an expert of? And getting clear about that and how you're going to live your life, and then asking yourself, what is the next most important action for me to take? Now, success is made up of two things. It's your mindset and your environment. Now, it's actually your environment that impacts your mindset. It's all, success is 80% mindset, 20% the know-how. But of the 80% of the mindset, how do you have the right mindset? Firstly, you've got to work on yourself. You've got to read books about people who've succeeded and got through hardship. You've got to spend time, and that's the mindset, the self-development programs, courses. But the other thing is the mistake that I made was I did a lot of self-development and transformational work, and I was empowered and ready to go. But then I was spending time with people who were not ambitious. People who drank a lot of alcohol, people that partied a lot, people who didn't have big dreams, goals, or aspirations, people that were just normal 9-to-5 jobs. And what happened was, whenever I had an idea and I'd say like, I want to travel the world and I want to speak to audiences of 1,000 people or more, they'd say, huh? What are you on about? Just go and get a normal job. Look, there's no hope right now. The
Yes.
governments are falling apart. There is no chance. You can't
Yes.
do any of this. Be realistic. And it meant I was constantly being crushed. So no matter how empowered I became or inspired I became through all these programs, if I kept going back home and spending time in those circles, there was never any room for me to express myself. And people were actually scared of me succeeding, as people are scared of you succeeding. You that's listening right now, people don't want you to succeed. They don't. And I'll tell you why. Because if you succeed, you end up proving to them they're lazy, that they're small-minded,
I
and that
love
they
that.
stayed in their town the whole time. And so you want to
I
get
love
this.
it.
Do not spend time with people that are less successful than you. I mean, I'm not saying cut your friends out. Of course, respect them. They're your roots. It's where you come from. But start investing your time, whichever way you can, with other people that are looking to create
Yes.
big, successful lives.
Yes, I love it.
And like Darwin is part of this amazing networking event. And I went there, and you've got people dialing in from all over the world, and everyone like wants to succeed in their business, whatever it is. And it doesn't matter what you say, you will be supported in that community. And they'll ask you, what are you doing? What have you tried? What's worked? What hasn't worked? What are you going to do next? And that environment will lift you and lift you and lift you and lift you up. If you're not in that environment, you're in the wrong environment, and it's just going to keep crushing you and crushing you and crushing you. So work on yourself, self-development programs, invest them online. And secondly, be in the right company, spending time with the right people.
I love it, Dan. Sorry, I got like, I feel like Rocky. Let's go box somebody. I love it. I absolutely love your message that you're sharing with us, Dan. Now, Dan, we've got some messages for you. Indira Ramadeen is saying Dan is one of those coaches who will follow up with the people he introduces in his program to, and always time for a person to comb through his program. That is cool.
I reckon, yeah, you've, what's her name, sorry?
Indira.
Indira, yeah, she's been through one of my programs. And I've been supporting her by texting her. She's been texting me. So it's really great to have you here and have you listening in. Yeah, really great.
No, that is very awesome. And then Leonie is saying, I'm glad you're telling us what it actually takes to be a professional coach. Wow, it takes a lot of work, but I just want to thank all the coaches out there. It helps others to be the best version of themselves. That is cool. I just want to say there,
Great
I do agree with Leonie on that one. I've interviewed quite a few coaches, and normally the coaches jump into what they offer and what they do. You sharing with us actually what it takes to be a coach, because a lot of people think coaches is somebody that just gets into it, and it's not the story. It's actually, in actual fact, the opposite.
Yeah, good point. And my message to all of you coaches that are going on shows like this and just selling yourself, stop it. Don't do it. It doesn't work. It's like me saying, can I sell you what's inside this box? I don't know what's inside that box. Oh, it's really great.
I love it.
Yeah, but I can't see it. Well, what's inside it? Oh, don't worry. Do you not want it? Let me sell it to you. Nobody wants your coaching. Nobody wants coaching. Full stop. Nobody wants coaching. What people want is they want the money in the bank. They want the Ferrari in the driveway. They want the big house. They want the big online following. They want to be traveling all over the world and making a real impact and living an extraordinary lifestyle. They don't want your coaching.
That's true.
And absolutely true. And so the way to have people become interested in receiving your coaching is give it away. Have people experience it. In my first year, which was 2016, that I announced myself to be a coach, I gave away 107 complimentary transformational coaching sessions.
Wow.
So that's...
Are you serious?
Yeah. And that was over 2 hours per session. So that's over 200 hours I gave away to entrepreneurs and people that I met to experience, to have a transformational breakthrough, to elevate their lives. And that's how I got better and better at guiding people to have a breakthrough in their mindset, to move from feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, like there's no hope, into feeling empowered and like they can take on the world. And then the second year, I gave away 157 complimentary sessions. And but this is what it takes. if you're not willing to do what it is that you do for no pay, then you haven't found your purpose. Because your purpose should light you up so much that you just want to do it all the time, whether you get paid for it or not. And when you then do that thing because you love it so much, not because it's for the money, people feel it. People are inspired to work with you. People want to find out more. And that's how you should be in business.
I love it, Dan. I love it. And what you're saying there is something that I strongly believe in. You know, I've been a graphic designer in my industry for what I do for about 20 years now. And I've gone professional. It's about 4 years now that I've been working for myself, but the magazine obviously is a year now. And I still give a lot of things away. You know, I do social media training. And for instance, if I really see the person has got something in them, I'll give them the course, because I would rather empower somebody and also get my name out there. And I normally tell people, and I want to give this advice now, if I may, I tell people, if I give you the course or I give you something, just do me one favor in return. Go and leave a comment, because just, you know, let's share something with each other, because then you can tell people the real worth. Because when you're paying for something, you don't always tell people the real worth. When you are trained, because it's a livelihood for you, something that might change your life, like what you did now, just do the favor, go and leave a comment, because it helps the person that's giving you the opportunity to move forward. Like what Dan is doing. If he's done it for you and you haven't left him a review, I'm watching you. Now the time to go and do it.
And I know that now there's like the listener, you know, I know that you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but how do you make money if you keep giving things away? Well, there's an art to it. So let me explain this. There was a study carried out about giving, and I can't remember the book, but the author put kind of business people into 3 categories. You've got the givers, the takers, and the traders. The givers just keep giving and giving, and takers just keep trying to take as much as they can, and the traders will only give when they get an exchange. Now, which of those 3, David, do you think became the most wealthy?
I would say the givers.
Very good. You're right. It was the givers that became the most wealthy. Which do you think became the most unwealthy?
The takers.
No, it was actually the givers were also the most unwealthy.
My word. Okay.
So the givers were both the most wealthy and both the most unwealthy. So the question is what is it that differentiated the givers that became wealthy versus the givers that didn't become wealthy? Well, here's the difference. The study concluded that those that became wealthy were givers, but they gave on their own terms, not on the terms of the person they were giving to.
Yeah.
So in other words, if somebody was to call me and say, Dan, you know, I'd like to receive one of your transformational coaching sessions, I'd say, yeah, okay, tell me a bit about yourself. I need to know you're ready for this. So I'll only give on my terms. So I need to know that they're an entrepreneur, that they want to be an entrepreneur, that they've got ambition, they really want to succeed at something. And then I'd say maybe, all right, great, so let's do it. How about Wednesday next week, 6 p.m.? And they might turn around and say, oh, could you do this evening? Now, somebody that's giving on the terms of the person that's being given to will say, yeah, all right, then let's do it. They will just, you know, move their diaries, shift everything around and everything that's important to them just to give this thing away to that person. The minute you do that, you've diminished your value, diminished your power.
I like.
So at that point, you say, no, it's either next week, Wednesday, this time, or Friday at this time. Which do you prefer? So you're still being generous. You're still giving something away, but you're giving it away on your terms.
I like that, Anne. I like that.
That's how you maintain a big heart of generosity, but you maintain your self-value and your self-worth and empowerment. Because nobody can take you seriously or trust you if you let other people bully you around, make requests of you, and you just say yes and just do whatever anybody asks. Because how can they trust you with anything you ask of them? Because you're going to go out there and somebody else is going to ask you something or tell you something, and then you're just going to get triggered again and then go and do something else and not fulfill what you promised to them to do in the first place.
I love it, Dan. I absolutely love it. You know, this is valuable for me because, you know, even for myself, you know, self-reflecting and just thinking now, you know what? I'm making mistakes. I should put my terms down. If I'm going to give it to somebody, they can't come and say, "Hey, listen, I want to do it then and there." They need to fit into your schedule.
Very good.
So that's awesome. Again, it shows you the power of coaching and doing it for the right reasons. You need to listen, people. This is advice. Oh, wow. I'm going to put you on repeat. This is awesome, Dan. This is beautiful.
Nice. No, I can see you're getting an insight from that.
No, definitely. It's hit like a nerve, like, where you make mistakes, because being in business, we are prone to make mistakes. And if you can learn from those mistakes, you can move forward. But this is one thing I love telling people. We can fail 1,000 times, but if you stand up 1,001 times, you've won. So this is what's happening here now. It's, we know we're doing the right thing, but the method might not always be the right thing. So we need to change it, and we need to work on it, and we need to develop it. And this is why we've got people like Dan in our lives to help us through this. So this is a cool question. I have to ask this, Dan.
Go for it.
How do you feel, or how important is it for you to have an inspiring vision to work to?
I'd say it's absolutely crucial.
Okay.
It's like, you imagine somebody going to a travel agent, and then they sit down, and the travel agent says, "Where would you like to go?" He says, "Just somewhere nice." Okay. Here's a map. Where do you want to go? I don't know, just somewhere nice. Like, how do you know whether they need to, how does a person going into that travel agent know whether they need to book
Yes.
a car, a taxi, an airplane? What mode of transport? How far is it? And that's the same for anything in life. If you don't put a destination to move towards, all your energy and all your effort is just going to have you kind of going round in a spaghetti kind of route and road, and end up nowhere in particular, if anywhere at all. It's like,
I love it.
What we were speaking earlier about giving on our own terms is about setting and honoring our own boundaries. But we can't set and honor boundaries if we don't have something to give us a reason to set them in the first place. It's like, if I'm trying to write a book and I'm committed to writing a book in 30 days, and I know it's going to take me 2 hours really focused every day for 30 days. If I don't set the target of writing that book in those 30 days, and somebody phones up, says, "Oh, I've got a bit of a challenge. You got time for a call now?" You would just say, "Yeah, fine. Let's talk. What can I help you with?" And then you just give all your time away. But the minute you set a target, the minute you set a vision, book, done, written in 30 days, you've then got something that you're up to set boundaries for, to ensure that you honor for yourself. Without a vision, without an end result, how do you know what to say no to and what to say yes to? How do you know which actions to take and what to, and what to disregard? You don't know.
Yes.
It's like, one of my first businesses was a handyman business. And I thought, if I could grow the business so big, I then have somebody that can replace me. And finally, I can start traveling all over the world. But the fact is it was location bound. I had to quality control renovations. I had to quality control all my handyman, and to make sure that they were delivering good work. And I couldn't ever go away for longer than 2 days, 3 days before the whole thing would start falling apart, and I'd have to come back again just to running.
Oh, wow. That's hectic.
And so the reason was because I didn't have a clear vision about what I really wanted. And when I got clear about that, which was that I want a business that enables me to travel all over the world, that I only need a Wi-Fi connection and I can just coach people from anywhere in the world. And then I got clear about that then I started to say, well, does this business enable me to fulfill that vision? And the answer is no. So then I started to create a business where I just did everything that only required a phone. So then I realized as long as the phone rings and I can answer the phone, I can close sales, I'll then have an already established company, like somebody else's company, to then carry out the work. So I reshaped the whole business. And in the end, I was just answering the phone, closing these sales like it was for emergency plumbing works. And then I would just text the details to my business partner at the time, who then actioned his workmen to then carry out the work. And it was amazing. That year, I went to more festivals than I've ever been to. I ended up going snowboarding in the French Alps in loads of exotic resorts. And I was just able to answer the phone whilst I was on chairlifts and snowboarding. And I had the freedom to travel, but I only designed and set all that up because I had the clear vision of wanting to be able to travel.
Yes.
And then people started to ask me for advice. How are you doing it? How are you running this business? How are you always traveling? So then I coached and guided other people to have breakthroughs in their lives and their businesses. And then that was it. I did it. It went fully online. And then I left and I went to Singapore and I went traveling all over Asia whilst I was still coaching clients all over the world.
Wow. That's awesome. Really, really awesome. Dan, we've got some more people sending you awesome messages, my friend.
Nice.
Got Marika Backer. Sometimes you think you know it all, but after listening to you guys, I've learned a lot. Thank you for a good learning session indeed. P.S. I still want a pink Ferrari.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely amazing. And what was the name of that listener?
Marika Backer.
Marika, really, well done for just taking this time to invest in yourself. And if you go to my website, which is danwarburton.com, you'll see there, scroll down a bit, you'll see get my book. If you buy a copy of my book, I'll then send you a copy of my 5-step entrepreneur accelerator program for free.
What? That is insane. That's awesome. We'll get to that just now because we need to tell people more about that. Then we've also got Maggie Naidu saying, love that point, Dan. I'm one of those givers. I give too much.
Yeah, well done. So keep that in check. Yeah, it's like you're not setting boundaries and you're not honoring them, which means that in the long run, you won't be able to serve many people. You'll just exhaust yourself.
Yeah, well, that's the truth. If you keep on giving, the only thing that you will give more is a funeral. You need to do what Dan's saying, I'm sitting here and I've actually made notes because I'm like, bad. Stop doing that to people. I'm actually doing them a disfavor to just give, set up boundaries, set up those methods that you work. This is cool.
Because then it also raises your value. It makes you instantly come across as busy and up to things in the world. If you're always bending over and just saying yes, it's like, well, you can't be that successful, can you?
That's it.
That's the message that it gives away. So we've got to set and honor our boundaries. Very important.
This is cool, buddy. This is awesome. Now, you were just talking about your course that you were doing or that they can do when they go to your website. Please tell us a little bit more about that, Dan, because you've already got my attention to it because I know for myself and my wife, we're both on a journey of discovering. So this is something that I'll listen to with wide open eyes and wide ears.
I've got an offer going on at the moment for this book. I can hold a copy of it here. There it is.
Oh, sweet.
Dream It, Choose It, Live It. It's an Amazon bestseller. It went to #1 and it's recommended by this guy here. If any of you recognize him.
I recognize him.
Robin Sharma. He's the author of the book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. He's sold over 15 million copies of his books, and he's like a world-recognized leadership expert.
Wow.
But he basically, he found out about this book, and it's got a bit dark here. Let me put the light on here. That's better. But yeah, he says, if you're a struggling entrepreneur who wants to truly succeed, then read this insightful book about how transformation will get you to the next level and beyond. But if you go to my website, which is danwarburton.com, you'll see there's a picture of me like holding the book up like that. Click on the button underneath that and it will take you to a landing page. Choose your country and it will take you to your Amazon to buy a copy. Once you've got a copy, email a screenshot back to that email that you get from following that process, and I will give you free access to my 5-step entrepreneur accelerator program that usually sells for $497.
Wow.
So it's a little bit of a secret thing. I don't post it everywhere. I'll keep it quiet for these special moments like this. So if you've heard this and you've got that information, this book will change your life. It will enable you to transform where you're in the way of yourself, to make sure you don't keep repeating patterns and you really start succeeding in an extraordinary way. And you'll then get the program as well to implement what you learn.
Just hold that book up for us again, if you don't mind, my friend.
Yeah, sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dream It, Choose It, Live It by Dan Warburton. You need to get this book. And Dan, I'm sorry to say, but the secret is out. We've got over 20,000 followers, and we're going to make sure they get it. I love it. There's something in it just drawing my attention to it. I know it's definitely not the free course, but that is drawing my attention a lot. I really do think that book is going to be powerful for what you can offer people.
I'm so moved. I've everybody, and I mean everybody that's read it has just come back to me and said, mind blowing, like, love it. I'm implementing what I've learned. Thanks so much. Can't get enough of it. How's your, where can I get your program? And I'm just so, to all of you that have bought the book and read it, really, thank you so much. Like, your feedback, it's just been amazing. Really, it's blown me away. So I'm excited to hear what other people get from reading it.
That is so cool. Then Indira also dropped another message for you saying, I'm busy reading The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari at the moment. So wow, I'm on the right track. Yay!
Yes. That book was one of the books that's had one of the best impacts on my life ever out of anything I've ever read. So yeah, amazing.
I agree with you. The first time I heard about it, I remember them having this interview with him on YouTube, and it caught my attention, the monk that sold his Ferrari. And I'm like, what? Where are these people getting off? Is this one of those hoaxes or something going on again? And I ignored it. About the fourth or the fifth time this thing kept on popping into my face, I started looking at it. Yeah, let me be honest, I haven't read it yet, but I've read about who he is and what he is about. And I just thought, wow. And constantly you always see him. So Dan, congratulations to be endorsed by somebody like that.
Yeah, thank you.
But I think it will be more an honor for him if you endorse him. So that's just my opinion. So Leonie has also said here, I think you're talking to a lot of people right now. Listen up, people, live your dream.
Yeah, I love it. Well said. Love it. Because if you're not living the dream or not working towards living the dream, then you're in survival. You're just tolerating, settling for second best, just in repetition, automatic.
That's it. And survival, it's not worth it. That is awesome. Dan, this is absolutely beautifully amazing. Guys, if you've got more questions for Dan, let's pop it in. Let's show him our support. And guys, if you want to share something with us or just ask a question, don't be afraid. Ask us. We'll answer it. Don't worry. Tonight's session, we won't charge you for it. We promise. It's a little gift from us. I'm just kidding, guys. Dan, now tell us a little bit more about you as a person. What do you do? Because I know something about Spain that always draws my attention. And that's an area that's quite well known for the beautiful beaches, the diving, kite surfing, those kind of things. Which of those do you do?
You know what? I'm actually a really keen snowboarder.
No way.
Yeah, so I love snowboarding up in the Alps, and I didn't get to go last year because I was out in Asia. And so this year I'm going to be getting into kite surfing, and I've only recently moved here to the south of Spain and got settled in. But yeah, now I'm about to start kite surfing. That's the thing coming up for me.
That is beautiful. Kite surfing is amazing. And I know the coast of Spain is one of the best places for it because the conditions is absolutely magnificent. And I can't wait to see your photos, doing your session and taking those photos, because I know you said you like also being outside. So I remember that also from a conversation that you had. It's quite cool. But tell us a little bit more about Dan. I would like the people to know not just the coach, but Dan the man.
I think I think we get asked that sometimes, don't we? Tell me more about you. And it can be something that's quite difficult to answer. But I think what I'll share is a moment that gave me the greatest insight of my life. So when I was at school, I was bullied a lot, and I was laughed at by teachers for bad grades, and I didn't fit in anywhere. I didn't fit in with the footballers. I didn't fit in with the chess geeks. I didn't fit in anywhere, and I felt really lost and lonely. And then when I got into my teenage years, I got into smoking marijuana and just messing around. And I was kind of in college, but just always staring out the window, daydreaming, and I just didn't enjoy any of it. And then in my early 20s, I got into being an entrepreneur, and I tried so many different business ideas, but I just kept failing and failing and failing. And by the time I got to my early 30s, I'd failed in launching, I think it was over 30 business ideas.
Wow.
Some I'd invested a lot of money into, others I couldn't even get off the ground at all. Others, just ended up causing me to go bankrupt. And I was at this point where I was in this relationship, and I'd been engaged for 8 years, and she just didn't feel it anymore. And that was it. We broke it off. So maybe the relationship was never going to be anyway, it was such a long engagement. But I was then in this little apartment, and I was on my own, and I had no future I could think of. I felt exhausted, burnt out. I tried all these business ideas. There I was, feeling very lonely and lost. And the next day I went up to my coaching session in London, because that's where I, lived most of my life. And there I was in London, and I said to my coach, why do I keep failing? Why am I just never succeeding? And in that conversation, he guided me to start asking questions like, what is it that you avoid doing? What are you secretly fearful would happen if you did succeed? And questions like that, just really good questions, like really skilled coaching. And he brought me to this point where I all of a sudden remembered something that happened to me when I was 3 years old. And I said to him, I'm remembering this thing. And he said, good, stay with it. And what happened was, when I was 3 years old, I remembered that I was sat in a double push pram. And I was 3, my brother's 1, and my mum's come out the shop to give us what she bought. So I put my hands up so she could give us what she bought, but she ignored me and gave it to my brother. And I couldn't believe it. This thing, my brother, had taken all the love and attention away from me. So to get my revenge, I leant over and I bit his ear really hard. And he screamed out, crying and crying and crying. And so my father saw this, and he runs over and he says, no, you mustn't do that. He's your brother. You must love your brother. And I got shocked that my father was speaking to me like that, so directly. And my brother then got even more attention. But what I got was that in that moment, I was thinking, I'm just not good enough. Nobody wants me.
Ouch.
And so what happened was, I then realized in that coaching conversation that at the age of 3, I had interpreted myself in the world as, I'm not good enough. Nobody wants me. And that was the cause of me having struggled to succeed for so many years. Because what was happening was, I was so scared of people finding out that I'm not good enough that I wouldn't sell myself. I would avoid getting on stage. No way could I walk up to somebody and ask them out on a date, And I would also overwork and stress, and I would push myself and work really hard and stay up late at night trying to, make these businesses work, but totally disregarding my health. And I wasn't taking care of myself either. And all of this was all this opinion and story that I had of myself of, I'm not good enough, that was running me. But I didn't know it was that. All I knew was I constantly felt frustrated and I couldn't succeed however hard I tried. But once I saw that I'd interpreted the world as, I'm not good enough, I saw that it wasn't true. And I saw that I didn't need to be that way anymore. And instantly, I just got this huge weight lifted off my body. And I felt light and at ease. No longer did I need to be so worried about what other people thought of me. I didn't need to care so much about a business not working or failing, perhaps. And I could just try again. Who cares? And then that insight stayed with me so much that I started to take actions not to look good or impress people, but that were calculated, that were based on tried and tested formulas by other entrepreneurs, by other business people. And from there, I began to succeed. And that was when my next business really began to succeed. And that was one I told you about earlier, which is where I set this business up where I didn't have to be location bound. And I just placed adverts in local magazines for emergency plumbing services. I just needed my phone and I could answer the phone from anywhere in the world. And I just answered the phone, closed the sale, and that was it. Then sent the work onto my business partner, who then led the work. And I could just carry on snowboarding, carry on traveling, do what I wanted. As long as I had my phone with me, I could be anywhere.
I love it.
But all of that was the outcome of a fundamental mind shift, which was understanding that I was doing things from a disempowering place. It was to look good. It was to impress people. And it caused me to overwork, be stressed, not sell myself, play small, hide, and just not own my power at all. But once that was clear, I was able to be fully expressed. I didn't have to be, I'm not good enough. I could start being Dan Warburton, the entrepreneur, the coach. I could start confidently speaking to people, closing sales, putting myself out there. And that was when I began to really succeed. And that's what my book is founded on. The book is this study of how we interpret ourselves and see the world in a certain way, and then how it directly affects the results that we produce, especially as an entrepreneur. And that if we're really going to succeed as an entrepreneur, we need to make sure that there isn't any disempowering views about ourselves in the world, because otherwise it comes across and we don't have the confidence to go out there and express ourselves anyway. So then nothing happens. And so the book takes you through this process to enable you to break through and free yourself of any possible disempowering ways of viewing yourself in the world that are holding yourself back, so that then you can become empowered and unstoppable and fierce in your actions and really start creating those results and actually living the dream for real.
I love it, Dan. That's truly, truly, truly amazing and powerful words. First of all, congratulations for overcoming what you've overcome in your life.
Thank you.
A lot of people, a lot of people look into things and they're like, you know what, I can't do this. Yeah, and I'm actually talking about myself also. Going through a rough time, going through difficult situations, and constantly hammering yourself. So I know where you're coming from, where you're telling yourself, I'm just not good enough. And I take my hat off to you. I really do.
Yeah, no, thank you. And it takes courage just to become aware of what is it that I really think of myself, you know?
Yes.
And most people won't go there. They won't even have that conversation with anyone else, let alone sit and reflect on it with themselves, you know?
That's the truth.
And the fact is that it's the way we view ourselves that governs all of our actions and how we're being.
Yes.
We all end up creating a reflection of what we think we are and think we're not. You've got Henry Ford's famous quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Because if you think you can't, you don't even try. You don't even go out into the world. You don't even push yourself to try and succeed. So then you end up proving that you can't, because you don't get results. But if you think you can, then you do actually go and try stuff out. You do take chances. You do invest yourself. You do put yourself out there. But then at some point, if you keep doing that, you're then going to get results. And then you end up proving to yourself that you can. So whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. But it goes deeper than that. If you're thinking, I'm not good enough, I don't fit in, I'm short, I'm weak, nobody likes me, I'm not wanted, and all those things, then that totally affects the actions that we take, or we don't take actions. And we then end up only proving to ourselves that those things really are true. So we've got to clear those things out of the way. We must free ourselves of the past, because that's where all that stuff lies, right? It's in the past. In this present moment, we can choose to be however we want to be. We can choose to be, I'm not good enough, or we can choose to be unstoppable, alive, free, focused, and take whatever actions we need to take to actually fulfill and realize that future that matters to us.
I agree with you, Dan.
And we've all got that choice, power, you know?
Yes. Man, that's awesome. That's powerful. Dan, that is absolutely beautiful. Look, we're almost run out of time. So before we go, I want you to do a favor for me. Just share your website again And how
Dan,
can people get hold of you if they need to speak to you?
just go to danwarburton.com. That's everything there. You'll see the book offer, and if you think you're ready for experiencing a transformational session that's totally complimentary, but it is by application, just go to my website, just fill out the application there, and if I can see that you're ambitious and up to some interesting things, then I'll happily give my time away to you to experience a transformational breakthrough.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome, Dan. That's great. So listen, people, what we'll do is also, Dan, I'm going to ask you, go onto the page. Please drop your comments in there so that people can actually get to see you there. And are you open for people to connect with you on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Send me a friend request. Send me a message as well, just to let me know I heard you on this show, just wanted to connect. That'd be great.
Excellent. That will be awesome. That's awesome. So guys,
yeah, nice.
Thank you very much for Dan for being here all the way from Spain. And I saw that beautiful view earlier on. If you didn't see the view, rewatch the video. We're not going to go outside now.
It's dark.
It's dark now. So guys, connect with Dan. Transforming your life is as easy as contacting Dan. Let him walk the journey with you, because this hour that we've had with Dan, it's already opened my eyes to a lot of things that I can change, that I can work on. So what can happen if you walk a journey with this man? Your life is going to be completely changed. So that is going to be absolutely awesome. And not just that, it's such a nice person to talk to. Dan is amazing. So Dan, I'm looking forward. And do you think we should tell the people what is coming up between me and you in the future, or should we wait?
Go for it. Absolutely. Tell them.
Dan is just been officially asked to become our February 2021, I like that number, cover story for Entrepreneurs Live. So Dan, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We don't easily select people. As you can see from our covers here, we've had people like Justin Cohen, international author, speaker and TV host. We've had Matt Brown from the Matt Brown Show. And we're getting the legend Dan be our next one. And this is going to be awesome. Dan, I'm looking forward to walking this journey with you, my friend. So kudos to that. And
Brilliant.
Thank you for being on the show. Thank your family for allowing us the time. I really appreciate it, because I know you've got an awesome baby.
I have little 5-month-old Ariana.
She is so cute, and I love that name. I absolutely love that name. So please thank them for allowing you to be on the show. We're looking forward to speaking to you again. I would love to have you on the show again.
Yeah.
And not just that, we're looking forward to sharing your story on Entrepreneurs Life magazine. And guys, this is Dan Warburton. You need to connect with him. He's putting himself out there. Talk to this man, connect with this man, and change your life like he did it for himself. Guys, Dan, thank you. That's all I can say.
Much. Thank you. Really great. Real pleasure to be here. Yeah, absolutely great. Thank you.
That was a pleasure, my friend. And listeners and viewers, we'll be back tomorrow night with a special interview coming up. If you don't mind, Dan, I would just like to give people a little bit of a sneak peek on it.
Yeah,
we've got the regional director for Average Lane KZN coming live on the show, Manette van Skalkwyk, to introduce a brand new event happening for Average Lane in the KwaZulu-Natal region, a big event coming up Saturday where they're going to go live and broadcast live. So do not miss it. They're embracing the future, and it's going to be awesome. Dan, I thank you, my friend. Go and enjoy it, and I can't wait to see your kiteboarding photos and everything that you do, and to connect with you again very soon. If I don't know, I'll speak to you this weekend at the Explore Protect Global Online event.
I'll see you there.
And it's going to be cool, because there's going to be a Secret Santa this time. So do not miss it out.
Cheers.
See you there, and have a good night, my friend.
Bye.
Be blessed.